Are you watching this on YouTube?
No.
You watch? Okay.
I'll watch it later. I'm not going to watch it now. You know how distracted I'd be?
Well, that's why I'm saying you were saying, there's already people in the chat. I was like, how do you know? Are you going to be drafting and filming the show and?
Oh, they pop up on my end. I can see all the comments. Like, we've got Harry, who is in the draft, saying, let's get it. We've got Royal Slade popping in. Afternoon all. Royal, good to hear from you from Calgary. We've got Craig Ruth hopping in the chat saying, I don't know what that is. Spider dinosaur. We've got Brad all the way in Australia. It's 7:35 a.m. He's tuned in. Well, you know what, Matt? We've got a great show coming up, man. I'm most excited to do this startup draft because this is startup season in Dynasty. This is when people start to, you get that itch. Like, I need to draft. I need to do something. Let's find a Dynasty league. So,
all those rookie drafts were so much fun, and now they're pretty much all over. Yes. And I texted somebody last night. I was like, hey, is it 3.5 months until we actually get to do anything? Like,
yes.
What's going to happen? So, yeah, it is startup season, isn't it?
Well, let's get to it, man. I'd like to just give a quick shout out to @HoovTube on Twitter. He is in this draft today, but he made that intro. I changed the music up a little bit, but he did all the video on that intro. So, Hoov, I just want to say thank you so much, and thanks for drafting with us today. Folks, we are here. We are the diehards, and we are ready to get to drafting. We're going to do a 12-team, 10-round PPR Superflex mock draft. 10 rounds, nothing crazy, no crazy rule settings that we need to pay attention to or think about. Pretty much standard across the board. Before we get to that, we've got in the chat, Mr. Scampers. I just wanted to give a shout out to my favorite fantasy cat. Thank you so much for tuning in. Matt, I think we should, let's just go ahead and get into this draft. What do you think?
I'm into it.
All right, let's do it. Let's do this. Switcheroo. Boom. Here we go. All right, folks. So we have got 12 teams in here. I have the second pick. We've got Matt as Mad Jester with the fourth pick. We're going to talk about all these picks as we go. So let's go ahead and get started. The first pick is going to be on auto. Here we go. Josh Allen, not a surprise here, but kind of a surprise to me, Matt. I'm going to be honest because I think this guy here, I think Patrick Mahomes. I think he's kind of, to me, he's the Dynasty 101 to me.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
He's perfect. He's more than perfect.
Okay, so now we've got D-Fig on the board. What if you've got this pick? You're the third pick in this draft. Which way are you going with it, Matt? Like, is there a player now that you've got Mahomes and Allen off the board where you would go? Now, Diggs just went Jalen Hurts. Was that the direction you'd probably go with it?
He's just so exciting. He is. It's impossible to deny. So I was going to be stuck here. I don't mind 104 because I think after those three, the biggest difference maker might be Justin Jefferson. I don't blame anybody for, falling into 105 for Joe Burrow, 106 for Justin Herbert. But, let me start off with a foundational best in the world wide receiver.
Justin Jefferson. Okay. So one of the things I was curious about going into this is, would he be a top 5 pick? Now, why him over we got Hoov here. He just took Joe Burrow. Why Jefferson over establishing that quarterback in Superflex?
He's going to be the biggest difference maker, aside from, Josh Allen. Of course, you're going to have quarterbacks up top. And for positional players to start bleeding into that quarterback range in Superflex, they have to be so special that it sets them apart more than having a good quarterback would. And you're only looking at a handful of players, and Justin Jefferson really stands out to me.
Now, okay, so let me ask you this. Let's say it is half PPR. You still going Justin Jefferson at 4?
The less that the impact that they have makes an impact, the more you have to kind of bleed down their value. And if you're going to be taking off half of 150 points next year, it's going to hurt him a little bit. Whereas Joe Burrow's going to jump ahead of him. Somebody just auto drafted Justin Herbert's going to be, I'm fine with any of those picks against any wide receiver or running back in half PPR.
Okay, now we just had Team 7 was a CPU pick. We didn't get that slot filled. Justin Fields in the first round at 7. Are you okay with him that early?
I've got a lot of Justin Fields, but it's from before. It's from when he had a third round, fourth round. There was a nice little gap you get in there. Same with Trevor Lawrence, who just went. I guess do you want him over Lamar Jackson is a risky take. I'd rather go Lamar Jackson.
That's kind of where I'm at with it too. Like, I don't think that's what I want. I want Lamar Jackson. I want Lamar Jackson. We know what Lamar Jackson can do.
Well, first of all, I think you got a little bit of homerism there. No, are you a Ravens fan at all?
No.
Okay, you're doing.
In fact, the opposite. I've detested that organization for a long time.
Yep, purple and orange, they clash. So Justin Fields Lamar Jackson's done it. Lamar Jackson's broken the league. Now Justin Fields kind of broke the league and all of our, notions about what you can do if you're passing 101 times a season or something like that. So right. Justin Fields has that aspect of it, but Lamar Jackson's had the accuracy before. He's broken all points scored by fantasy players before. Like it's a little bit silly to take the mystery box over the boat.
Yeah, and I'm with you. And I have a ton of Justin Fields. That's not the issue. It's that when you've got Lamar Jackson there.
What are you hoping for with Justin Fields?
Right. Well, you're hoping that his passing upside increases. You're hoping that we see him take a leap where he's throwing the ball more than 15 to 20 times a game. My question is, with that, this offense isn't necessarily set up to do that. Right?
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins would be fun there, but
DeAndre Hopkins would be fun, but I don't think
they've got the most
any
cap space. Well, they've got the most money, don't they?
I mean, that's a fair point. They do have the most money. Okay, so now we have missed a lot of picks here, sir. So now we've gotten through the Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence. Then we had a little run here without a quarterback to end the first round. We had Jamar Chase going at 110, Brian Robinson going at 111. Bijan Robinson. God, sorry, it's so tiny, and I know. I'm sorry. Bijan. Obviously, if you're taking Brian Robinson ahead of Bijan Robinson, you're out of my draft.
You have an invite to my league for sure.
So then we've got Bijan, Breece Hall to round out the first round from Craig. Then he rounds the corner into CeeDee Lamb. Then we've got A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra going in the first 3 picks of this round. Matt, you're on the clock. Christian McCaffrey, the 4th pick. The 4th pick in the second round in this startup. Make your pick, then I want to know what you think about that.
I'm just going to take good old steady Dak Prescott. Yep, that's fine with me.
All right. Interesting, but all right.
Yeah, it's a safety play.
Sure, I get that. I absolutely get that.
It's a safety play who's been in the top 8 for a few different seasons, and he got his leg snapped really, really badly a couple years ago, and he kind of fell off the fantasy radar, but he's still under 30. What do you want more than 5 years in fantasy age-wise? So that doesn't really, especially with quarterbacks being 29, if they've put up top 5 seasons, top 8 seasons a few different times, and then the seasons that they don't, there are excuses. You can call them that. Sure. He's a very, very high-end safety play.
I don't hate it. And then now we've got, with the 210, we've got Tyreek Hill coming off the board. This is really interesting to me so far because we had Waddle come off the board ahead of Tyreek. We had Garrett Wilson come off the board ahead of Tyreek. I would have taken Tyreek over Wilson, Waddle, probably Amon-Ra, probably all of these receivers besides Jefferson and Chase. Like, if we're being completely and totally honest.
Yeah, Breece Hall surprised me in round 1 of a startup. It's very Jonathan Taylor-esque,
No, very much so.
Ooh, a third round reversal.
Yes.
Oh, I was not expecting this. I think I would have chosen differently. Hey guys, know your league rules before you draft.
League rules. All right, so what do you think about my Kelsey pick there in the second round?
Oh, I can't believe it. I was going to take him if you didn't, and I was hoping you would berate me for it. You beat me to the punch. I love it. Oh my God, you got the stack, dude.
I got the stack, bro.
You wouldn't have gotten him on the next round. Nope. And we play to have fun, and we play to win.
Exactly. And I know a lot of people say, hey, Travis Kelce, he's getting older. He's going to be, 33, I think, heading into this season. I can't confirm or deny that. It's just a number I'm guessing here. But I don't care because tight ends who play at his level, think about guys in the past that played at his level. and not even at his level, but Tony Gonzalez, Hall of Fame tight end, right? He played until he was almost 40 at a high level. He contributed to his offenses. Same thing with Antonio Gates. I mean, that dude played until he was 37, 38 years old, and he was a perennial All-Pro. I think that's who Kelsey is. So I think you're still going to get another 3 to 4 years of production out of him.
Wow. If you think you're going to get 3 to 4 years of production, you got a great value.
Exactly. That's why
I'm hoping for 2 years. I think he's fair in the third round. If he gets you 2 more years, it's worth it of his production, you know?
Sure. I think that fourth year is a little iffy. That fourth year could be a year where they've got a new tight end. Kelsey's just kind of there, catching passes here and there. But I don't know, man. I see the talent with him. And even if I only get 2 years out of him, I'm okay with taking him in the second round because that's 2 years in a row. I have a plug and play tight end every week. I would have to think about it.
Okay. We kind of play the same game. So I took Dak Prescott thinking that I would get Kyler Murray, but that third round reversal just barely messed me up. So if I could have done it over again, I would have waited for a safe play further down the draft and taking Kyler Murray right there. Now it would have set my draft in a certain direction because I can't expect to win counting on Kyler Murray this year.
Sure. That's a future play. Yeah.
Yep.
I get it.
Okay. Let me take a look at the board because my time's half gone. Ooh, I can't do that. That's too spicy.
So we've got Deshaun Watson going at 3-3. Kyle Pitts going at 3-2. Saquon lasted all the way to the third round, which is just insane to me. Austin Eckler going a little bit later. I do understand that because what do we have? 2 seasons of him left? Maybe, if we're lucky. I mean...
Austin Eckler?
Yes.
Yeah, and to be honest, I just can't. I don't know what I would pay for him right now. Certainly not a third round startup pick, but no. Would you be surprised if you saw half a season out of the rest of his fantasy dominance?
No, probably not. See, now I'm in a tough spot here because I really wanted to and I can wait on my second quarterback, I suppose, but I always hate doing that. I hate it, especially with the value you got here. But I do see a running back I like on the board. I mean, Josh Jacobs, some people will say, well, he's only had one really standout season. Yeah, dude, but that standout season was really good. And it was just last season.
Yeah. And it was when they finally, they got a new coaching staff. They just decided to use him properly. And he rewarded them because they trusted him for once,
Yeah, no, exactly. Guys, we have a surprise visitor. Just give me just 1 second here.
Well, I wonder if I'm still on. I don't see a chat, so there's really no way to know. Type it in the comments if you think you know who he's going to get. Nate, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, and I am taking my pick right now. I just had to meet it because I had to go get the door here. We've got
Walker.
Jackson, can you say hi to everybody watching?
Hi.
How are you?
What up, Jackson?
Good.
He asks how you are.
Good.
Good. Okay, can you wave? Okay, bud. I got to finish up my show. I love you. Thanks for popping in.
Dad,
okay.
Dad, look. Into twinsies.
All right, now, where are you going to go with this pick?
Jahmyr
Gibbs off the board in the fourth round. Wow, that feels kind of early to me, but it's interesting.
It feels very 2021. That's what that feels like.
Hey, Jackson, buddy.
Where do I go next? Let's lock it up with Andrews.
Okay, sorry about that. Kid had to come say hi. He just got home. Last week of school was last week, so now we're in summer camps. So he gets home a little bit earlier. Usually he's still at school when I'm doing my shows. So,
lucky day.
That's right.
Bring your kid to work day.
That's right. Hopefully he does this for a living too. Like that. Just keep it in the family, right?
Cool.
Just carry it on. So now we've got Mark Andrews, third tight end off the board, which is surprising to me because Mark Andrews is under 30. It's curious to me that you would go Kyle Pitts. So I'd be curious but I also understand that we could be at the very beginning of a huge Kyle Pitts breakout. But do you think we are, Matt? I mean, is it incoming?
I think it's inevitable. I don't know how long he's going to regret having that pick. It might be a full year. I don't regret any of the Kyle Pitts that I drafted 2 years ago, though, if that says anything.
I still don't regret it either.
I'm still not disillusioned. I feel like it's kind of a safety gold token in my back pocket.
Sure. Well, the thing is his talent's there. And this is where I get worried about Dalton Kincaid right now, is because look what's happened to Kyle Pitts. And like they made all these promises. You remember Arthur Smith's like, we're going to use him as a wide receiver. The dude profiles as a wide receiver. He's going to be in the slot most of the time. That's all been true, but the production's just simply not there.
Well, they had a tumultuous season last year too. He missed a lot of time.
That's true.
And then he came back, and when he came back, their playoff chances were shot. Mariota, I think, was like not coming back after Christmas vacation, and he was getting in trouble with the league or something. Desmond Ridder was in there for his first 4 games. I can forgive a lot in Pitts and Drake London's situation last year.
Sure. And do you think Ridder's going to be better this year?
I'm really excited about Ridder. I didn't want you to bring him up until like the 9th round, but I don't mind him being my first bench player at all.
So, Brad, I hope you don't mind if you're still watching. He sent me his initial QB rankings. He had Ridder at the bottom.
That's fair.
Baker Mayfield.
Oh, that's not fair. Today, Ridder has the job and legs and better weapons. Yeah, I'd say better weapons all around.
Yeah. So I want to look at this draft board real quick because there's a couple ones that are very, very interesting to me here. We've got Javonte Williams lasting all the way until the 5th round. 5th round for Javonte. And I get the knee injury, but we also have heard that his rehab has been a little bit better than expected. You maybe don't get a elite 2023 season out of him, but you get a 2024, a 2025, and a 2026 out of him. If he stays on the field, then he is what we all saw at the end of 2021, right? And I also want to point out, I think Craig's playing the stacking colors game with his draft. Running back, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back. I mean, I'm for it. Didn't you ever take a test and just do a pattern?
The Christmas tree, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
That's how I passed everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't mind it if it was wide receiver first and running back second, and you just fill in the running backs. I just think you need more. I need to check the starting lineup as well. So 2 wide receivers and 3 flexes. Yeah, yes. I'd rather build around. I don't mind the Christmas tree pattern or the back fourth. I wouldn't stick to it. Maybe it's lucky, and I would want more wide receivers than running backs for sure.
So I think I'm with you there. I'm kind of the hero RB strategy, which I'll be writing about for Fantasy Pros here later in the month. Get that stud in the first round, which Craig did. He got Breece Hall. Get that hero running back early in your draft. And then there's so many guys that you can just backfill in, like if you get the Jonathan Taylor or you get the Josh Jacobs or you get the Saquon Barkley, you've got your stud and you can build around that. That said, having Breece Hall, Saquon Barkley, and Javonte Williams, if they're all hot at the same time, like that's going to be a team that's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, you're right. I like it. We're in the 5th round. Damn, it's too early to take my guy, isn't it?
Dude, it's never too early to take your guy.
Then I'm going to go ahead and take my guy. We're going bully tight end.
All right. I love it. I do love it. Dallas Goedert, I mean, we saw him without Ertz. He was a damn good tight end. And this Philly offense is just getting better and better and better.
I remember seeing one game and being like, he is now in that tier. He is now in elite tier. I don't remember which game it was, but he was just tossing people left and right. And I think he got like 25 points. And, I think it was probably a primetime game. But he earned it this year. And he's also, 27, 28 years old. Plus, now I'm going to have to, next year, I'm going to, somebody's going to come up to me with their big, bad Evan Ingram, and I'm just going to steamroll them. It's going to be great.
Hey, I like Evan Ingram.
I love Ingram. He had a fantastic year.
He did have a fantastic year. But
maybe it'll keep
get
going.
it. I get the trepidation with it. I mean, it's the first year he's really done anything.
So it's not on him. I used to always use Cole Kmet as my punching bag, but I think he ended last year as like tight end 7, so I can't really use him as a punching bag anymore. But
well, as a former member of the Cole Kmet fan club, I'm glad that you've stopped using our boy as a punching bag. All right, so we've got some more picks I want to talk about here. Now, first, Dameon Pierce in the 5th round. Wow. I don't know that I believe in Dameon Pierce enough to take him that early. I understand wanting to believe in him because we did see flashes of it, but down the stretch, man, it just seemed like, whoa, here I am talking. I missed my own pick.
However, hey, I love it. I love it.
Funny enough, I was going to take Jordan Addison, if not this pick, if he was still around with my next pick. So I'm fine with it.
All right, I think you went exactly with ADP, which is maybe we should just do that. Let's see how these CPU teams are afterwards.
They're going to be some of the better teams. Now I'm going to take myself off auto pick here. The embarrassment. The embarrassment. Well, now let's go through and look at some of these rosters that aren't ours. So let's look at J-Rod Bulk Gang here. We've got Lamar Jackson and Anthony Richardson, 1st and 2nd round. Loaded at quarterback, and then he still is able to get Eckler, Chubb, and Pollard at running back. Like, that's a pretty solid running back stack. I know you're more of an advocate for wide receivers early, but with the 3 flex slots, like, you can start all 3 of those guys every week.
Well, you won't be able to because they're running back, so they won't all be healthy after week 3.
That's
at
a fair
point.
Time. That's a fair point.
So
let's hope that's not true.
Oh, I know. You hope all the time that it's always not true, but you know.
All right, now we just got Dobbins going off at 6'3" here. I kind of like this pick.
That's fine. That's fair.
I think it's a sneaky good pick if they get him involved in the passing game. He's never been involved in the passing game, but that was, again, in a Greg Roman offense where there was really no passing game, right? I could see Dobbins getting a tick in the PPR format and being worth a 6th-round pick.
Yeah, that's fine. They're all kind of toss-ups everywhere between, they're just so risky. They're so risky that we don't know who's going to pop up and be a top, 10 for whatever reason.
Matt,
but he's definitely in there.
You got 15 seconds.
I'm going to reach again and get my other guy.
I don't hate this pick either. Did you see the news today about Darnold looking really good in practice?
Stop it.
He was
You're messing with me.
He was 10 of 12. Didn't throw a pick. One of the incompletions was a drop.
Okay.
Against the first team defense. I'm not saying that means absolutely anything. I'm not a Sam Darnold truther. I'm not one of those guys.
I think that
saying.
I think that don't let camp. I think that you're probably really bored to be looking into that. And if you do join a bunch of startups right now, don't do it based off camp news if you can help it. Just know what there's an impetus that's driving you to something crazy, and it's like I need some fantasy startups and I need some camp news, and don't let those mix.
Right. Now, okay, we've J-Rod Bulking's on the clock. Royal Slade's next. Let's look at Slade's team. Obviously, he's a New England Patriots fan, if you couldn't tell from his logo. Not a single Patriot on his fantasy team. Some fan he is. But we do have Trevor Lawrence was his first pick. Then he got Christian McCaffrey at the 204. Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, Derrick Henry at 5'4". And then he got Jameson Williams, 6'9". For a guy who's going to miss the first 6 games.
Yeah, it's an off pick for sure.
But I like it. And here's why. Because if he wasn't going to miss the first 6 games, J-Mo's going in the 3rd round, right? 3rd or 4th.
Sure,
because we know how talented the dude is. And we saw him pop last season a couple times after coming back from that injury. And outside of Amon-Ra, they've got Sam Laporta.
Yeah, they do.
And I guess they brought Marvin Jones back. But
D-Hop's also out there, and they also have a lot of cap space.
Yeah, I can't see D-Hop in that offense, though. I just can't see it. You don't need him, in my opinion. He's not the type of receiver that's going to make Goff shine. I think that's Jameson Williams, and I think they're just going to hold on until they get Jameson Williams back. So I like Royals' team. Little nervous about the lack of a second quarterback, but who am I to say? Because I still don't have my second quarterback either.
Yeah, look at you.
Look
Mr.
at me.
Judgy over here. Judgy Jordan Addison over here.
Okay, now we've got to talk about FF Monarchs team. This is my boy Harry. Harry, thanks for drafting with us. I hope you're watching. I did see you in the comments. This is an interesting strategy to wait until 6-11 to take your quarterback, and that quarterback is Trey Lance. It's the only quarterback on the board. Other players he has include Bijan Robinson, AJ Brown, Kyle Pitts, Ramondre Stevenson, Christian Watson, and then he just took Chris Godwin with the 702.
Those players are all going to, aside from the quarterback, that team is very strong for a long time.
Yes.
And if he wants to take a shot, if Lance hits, he's going to win the league.
Yeah.
If Lance probably plays like a second round startup pick, this dude's going to win the league for sure. And is this mine? No. Okay. And, there are going to be enough cheap dirtbag quarterbacks in the 12th and 13th round that have starting for little bits. I think he can piece together quarterback. If that's his only position that he's not doing well at, I think that, zero running back, you don't take zero running backs. You just wait like excessively long to get maybe a hero in the 4th or 5th round or longer. And then you just got to pummel them after like round 13 or so. Like after you've got a really nice backup at every other position, you just start pummeling every single running back. And if any of them become Ramondre like 17th round Ramondre Stevenson, you're set. And if you do that this way, he's kind of playing hero super flex, where he's just taking one guy who could, hit big. It could be Jalen Hurts was a 5th round pick 2 years ago. If he hits on something like that, it's just going to be such a boon to his team. And you can tell that he kind of plays like that because of all the players that he leans towards. Godwin's a fantastic value up in the 6th round, 7th round, always. But Christian Watson, he probably has some shares that he picked up at like 111 last year, 201. Ramondre Stevenson, he's probably been playing long enough that he was able to get him the teen rounds of startups. And, I think he likes to get ahead of the curve a little bit. I like the way he plays.
The Ramondre pick in the 4th round, Damian Harris is out of the way.
True. Yeah. I like it.
They got James Robinson, but what's James Robinson? He's not Ramondre Stevenson. I'll tell you that right now. He's a good running back, but he's not Ramondre Stevenson. Aaron Jones all the way in the 7th round to who?
Is that high or low?
I feel like that's kind of high. I've seen him going 4th, 5th round.
It's going to be a fun year. It's going to be a fun year to go into it being disciplined RB. And as teams start to implode with this whole 2017, 2018 class, maybe getting replaced, you're going to be able to get those dudes 2 for 1 for a first, So I'm excited to let the season form. I can't believe I just keep, I reached a little on the last 2. I guess I'm reaching on all of them, but I'm getting my guys, and I'm okay with that.
Ooh, Marquise Brown. That's an interesting future pick.
Yeah, I don't like him for this year, to be honest. Even if D-Hop is gone, it is what it is.
The quarterback situation there is atrocious.
It's atrocious.
Kyler Murray's not starting this season, and I really feel like if we get to, say, week 8, week 9, Kyler's ready to come back, and the team's terrible, they just sit Kyler.
Yeah,
just
why would? Yeah.
So
I can definitely see it happening this year.
I think this is where I'm going to go with my next quarterback, and I'm kind of excited about Kenny Pickett this year.
That's the first time that's been uttered in human existence.
No, not if you listen to Herbs.
I know. We got some people that are believe in Kenny Pickett, and I don't hate it. I don't.
Well, here's where I'm at with Kenny Pickett. Okay, he took massive steps last season. At the end of the season, he almost got them into the playoffs when they had no business making the playoffs, but they had a winning record. Mike Tomlin, still 15 seasons, always a winning record. And I think Pitts is that guy. I think he has that it to be a quarterback that I think 7th round, Kenny Pickett, I think that's good value. I wouldn't take him any higher. But
you're on the clock, by the way. I don't want to cut you off. Okay.
No, you're fine. I am aware.
I'm with you. It's really hard to judge quarterbacks, how they're going to perform in the NFL. And I think a lot of it's just mental, and some people are ready for it and ready for the pressure and ready for that. The only thing that I know about Kenny Pickett from college that I really remember was him fake sliding and getting the touchdown in the important game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's enough to stick around in the NFL under a really strong, like 40-year successful organization without any turnover and blah, 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 blah. Like maybe he just fits in.
Well, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. I think that he fits what Tomlin's trying to do. I mean, he's got a cannon for an arm, just like Big Ben did. Their offensive line is getting better. And that was really the problem last season for them, was their offensive line was so bad. Now, a team's that offensive line was also bad. For some reason, their quarterback was still good. Geno Smith coming off the board here at the 803.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's fantastic value, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's interesting because I was looking for him.
Well, he's good.
Oh, I hate that pick.
I don't think you're going to hate it as much at the end of the season, though.
You know, mid-8th is fine for Russell Wilson. What am I talking about? All he needs is one good start.
Sure, when Dak Prescott just like shits the bed, you've got Russell Wilson.
Great, I got a younger and an older Dak Prescott. I'm excited.
Perfect. Ooh,
Perfect
Zach Charbonnet here.
You know, I was going to take him. I was just thinking about what their ceilings are, and I'm this early in a draft, I'm okay with just building value before even touching running backs. You know, if I can get a player that's going to be worth way more than Zach Charbonnet, and I feel like pushing my chips in, there's just other ways to go about running back, I think.
Well, this CPU team is interesting because it's exactly what they did. This is their first running back.
Oh.
So they went Justin Fields in the first, Jalen Waddle,
Damn,
CJ Stroud, JSN, Debo, which I wouldn't have taken Debo in the 5th round,
Fair.
George Kittle, Zay Flowers, and then Charbonnet here at 807. Now we just had Keenan Allen come off the board. Bolt gang got their first bolt. It's about
time. You say you're like Debo, I wouldn't have taken them there, and I'm thinking like Kittle, I probably wouldn't have taken them there, and then, but at the end of the day, this machine's roster is really solid.
You know,
so when it's done, I don't hate the values as much as I like the team.
So I have an article likely coming out tomorrow on Fantasy Pros, and it's a series I do during the off season. It's way too early redraft. So I've got way too early redraft sleepers and way too early redraft picks to avoid. And actually, picks to avoid might have come out today. One of my picks to avoid, Deebo Samuel.
That's fair.
You know, what he did that one season was incredible. It was otherworldly what he did. Rushing the ball alone. I mean, wasn't it without his rushing statistics, he was still a top 10 wide receiver. But with his rushing statistics, he would have been like RB2. Like, it was stupid what he did. That said, that offense ain't the same offense that did that. They've got a different offense. It's still the Shanahan offense, but it's not McDaniel.
It's
the
still
coordinator.
That's true. And boy, that makes me excited about Miami when you say that, right? You know, that the whiz kid went over there. But so I'll tell you this. 49ers have always been explosive. They've always gotten a ton of points. I'm okay just buying in. And I don't know where it's going to end up landing. So I don't like him in the 4th. Oh, he got a mid-5th. That's fine.
Yeah. All right, so now
I like Ayuk a full round later for sure.
Oh, for sure. I think Ayuk outperforms Debo this year.
Nice.
Plus, you know, we've seen the injury issues. He's only played one full season. So
Debo, that is something to notice. For sure.
Dude, those soft tissue injuries, man, they linger and they come back. I know from experience. Like, once you ding your ankle up, it's going to happen again. It's just a matter of time.
Fair.
You know?
Yep.
All right, so we just had M. Perota 17 take James Cook at 9-7 after taking Rachaad White at 8-6. It's like this man is someone after my own heart, man or woman, whoever it is. But let's talk about this team real quick. We've got Justin Herbert at 1-6, Garrett Wilson at 2-7, Kyler Murray at 3-7, Drake London at 4-6, Michael Pittman at 5-7, which I think we're a little too low on Michael Pittman with Anthony Richardson. Then we've got Mixon at 6-6, Hopkins at 7-7, Rachaad White at 8-6, and James Cook at 9-7. I don't hate this. I don't hate this team. I mean, you've got Herbert and Murray. I'm assuming you get into the 12th, 13th round, you take one of these quarterbacks available. There's still some decent value at quarterback that you can plug in if you need to. You've got Will Levis, Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers, Mac Jones, Matthew Stafford still around. Jordan Love, who just came off the board to you, which I don't hate that pick.
So a lot of what my if I'm not able to trade around in a draft startup, I have to plan on just getting as much value as possible, because I like to trade around and get as much value as possible by jumping around in my own personal tiers and just kind of playing parkour with the board. And then you have picks that are closer together, and you can like kind of group your shots. But if it's just a straight draft, or if if it's a slow draft but nobody's trading to save anybody's life, they just can't, it's just not happening, then I don't mind stacking up on quarterbacks, because in this range, there's not another person in this range who can be worth 2 firsts. There's just not another person.
No, you're 100%.
And
right.
Jordan Love is, or he could be. So nobody has a ceiling with Jordan Love. I'm fine with that. And if I can't jump around the draft board and get into tiers and like get a couple players that I like in each tier and like have a full, starting 10 roster by round, I like to make a starting 10 roster between rounds like 3 and 8 and just get all my players right in there and be able to group shoot. But if I can't do that, then let me get as much value as possible.
Yeah, no, 100%. So let's talk about DFig's team here real quick, as we're actually rounding out the 10th round here a lot faster than I thought we were going to get it done. I like this team too, but the first 3 picks are what do it for me, Matt.
Which team?
DFig 24. Yeah, make your pick. DFig 24, the pick right before you. We've got Jalen Hurts at the 103, Tyreek Hill at 210, Chris Olave at 310, Jahmyr Gibbs, Dameon Pierce here at 4.3 and 5.10. I don't necessarily love, but I can be sold on at least Jahmyr Gibbs. I think Dameon Pierce, he's going to be splitting time with Devin Singletary, and if it's not Singletary, they'll find someone else. We did talk about the Dobbins upside, but then Pat Freiermuth, and it gets Geno Smith in the 8th round as a second quarterback, which I know people. Let me ask you. You make your pick.
I'm going to get boring with it and just try and stack up as much value as I can. At 10th round, Aaron Rodgers, I'll take it.
I don't hate that.
He might be around as long as Kelsey.
Yeah, no. What I want to know your thoughts on Geno Smith. I
love Geno Smith. Geno Smith hopefully plays for. If I can get 2 full years out of Geno Smith with what he did last year, that's great. He's when I started playing Dynasty a couple years ago, he was 7th round. Is he still in the 7th round? 8th round now. He's basically Kirk Cousins 2 years ago, where everybody's like, why would you do that? Why would you waste your especially on a rebuild? I got, I did 0 a couple positions, and I just tried to take value on a productive struggle like 2 years ago. And I still took Kirk Cousins in the 7th round. People were like, that's so dumb and that's so against what your team looks like. And I'm like, I guess so, but I'll just take a top 12 dude for 3 years, and y'all can judge yourselves. So I like Geno in the 8th. I think it's a great pick.
I wrote him up a couple days ago, again for Fantasy Pros, where pretty much all of my written content is these days. And digging into the numbers, like just looking at what he did last season, that wasn't a fluke. It wasn't a fluke at all.
He's great, and it's great offense.
Great offense. They gave him 2 more weapons. I mean, they got him Zach Charbonnet, and they got him Jackson Smith and Jigba. So he was going, I think QB 16 is where he's sitting at right now in the Fantasy Pros expert consensus rankings. QB 16. The guy was QB 5 last year. He almost completed 70% of his passes. Basically completed 70% of his passes. I mean, 32 touchdowns, only 12 interceptions. He started this special. The first 2 games of the season, he was 80% completion.
And he wasn't a statue either.
No, he wasn't.
He definitely mixed up. Yeah. He mixed up defenses for sure.
Well, he was 10th in the league in non-running back rushing yards.
Really?
Yes.
What does that list look like? Quarterbacks versus any other position? It's all quarterbacks pretty much?
It's all quarterbacks.
Okay.
Through those first 10.
So the 10th most rushing yardage out of all quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Top 3rd?
PFF, I mean, exactly.
And it gets forgotten about.
Yes, it does. PFF just qualifies it as non-running back, so I figured I'd qualify it. He's rushing wide receivers. He had more rushing yards than Deebo Samuel.
There you go.
So I just don't know what more you want out of a quarterback.
Security. That's the reason quarterbacks are so important in this league. Other than the fact they can get 30 points against bad defenses. The reason that we like quarterbacks so much, drafting them early, is because of the longevity of them.
Sure. Geno Smith, though, he didn't play.
He hasn't taken many hits. You're right.
No, dude, he started for a season and a half in New York, and then he didn't get a shot to play. I know. I'm higher on him than most, and we've gone on way too long with this Geno Smith tangent. The draft is over, so let's take a look here. I want to know, just looking at this, what's your favorite team in this draft?
Ooh,
and it can't be your own.
Oh, damn. Fill the dead silence for a minute while I look over these teams.
So
it's hard to go away from Mahomes, Kelsey. So if just upon first 2 picks, you might have it.
Oh boy,
it looks good too, though.
Outside of mine, my favorite team is probably yours, honestly.
Oh, I'll get you back.
Even though you don't have a running back, I like everything else that you did.
Are you able to pull up specific teams?
I can highlight. I can't pull up just the whole team. No.
Oh, okay.
My second favorite, honestly, is probably Monarchs because he got Matthew Stafford that last round. Then you get Bateman in the 9th. Don't love Miles Sanders in the 8th.
I do.
I'm concerned about Chris Godwin in this offense. I'm not going to lie. I'm very concerned about Chris Godwin. The quarterback situation is bad.
I'm not concerned about him as a player.
I am.
As a player 3 years from now, I'm not concerned about Godwin.
No, but this season I'm concerned about Godwin.
For sure.
But I think you got Christian Watson. I love the A.J. Brown pick. You got Bijan and Ramondre. That's a tandem that's going to be very good for you for 3-4 years. So I think I'm going to say Monarch.
Yeah, I like his a lot. I wonder if he's mad about me taking Jordan Love ahead of him.
He might be.
Could have had him instead of Rashad Bateman. That would have been a nice little stack with Watson.
Sure would have been. I got the double stack in here, though, because I got Deontay Johnson and Kenny Pickett. And I got DK and Tyler Lockett. So I'm pretty happy with this team.
I like Royal Slade's team, although Jameson Williams and Kendre Miller, I feel like if he had gone with proven good players, he'd be probably the best starting roster.
I don't have an issue with Kendre Miller.
I just don't. I mean, I live in New Orleans, and I don't know which way it's going to go. We're all counting on Kamara being gone. We're all counting on Kendre Miller getting more touches and more attention and more. But he's kind of a plotter. He's not really a pass catcher. And Kamara's not gone. And we don't know if our offense is going to be scoring a bunch of touchdowns, if I'm going to be honest.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
I just have trouble. I just have trouble with it,
No, I get it.
But running backs are very thin at that point in the draft, so you're really taking shots.
And look at all the other running backs that he took. I mean, he's got McCaffrey, he's got Derrick Henry. Those are your 1-2.
Yeah, he's got a really strong team other than those two. And I'm also giving a bunch of credit to Laporta that he hasn't earned yet. But I think that he's going to start out strong and be a usable tight end year one.
Well, I mean, as tight end lover boys, it's what we do.
Yeah, it's true. We romanticize.
So let's go, before we get out of here, let's go into the comments section here. We've got Royal Slade saying J-Mo and Miller were future picks, which totally makes sense to me. And I think Jameson Williams is a fantastic future pick because the dude's skill level, and he screwed up, right? But he didn't get the full year suspension.
He didn't get the Ridley treatment.
So that means it must not have been too terribly bad. And when you're, I don't know. I think they need to kind of lighten up on that.
They did. A couple of his teammates did get the full year.
Yes.
Quintus Cephas is out for the full year, and I think there's some other that got in trouble. So we don't know what happened,
No, we don't. We don't know what happened. But that's again, that's a good future pick. We got Hoove in the chat saying double stack. That is right.
Let's look
at
that.
I love it. My double stack.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I've got Kenny Pickett, Deontay Johnson, Mahomes, Kelsey, and then I've got both DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett, which I'm pretty excited for. We've got Mr. Scampers in the chat saying, thanks for the show, guys.
You know what?
You are very welcome.
HoofTube's team is dangerous.
HoofTube,
it's a dangerous team. It would need a lot to go wrong for that team to do poorly. And a lot of these players, I think he's getting at value because whatever could go wrong with them kind of did last year. Najee played on a hurt foot all year. Jonathan Taylor was like in a languishing offense, and he got hurt all year.
Sure.
T. Higgins had a couple of goose eggs that really set down his points per game, but he's a lot better than his points show too. Daniel Jones, I mean, he did hit.
Yeah.
Nobody believes, but he hit. DJ Moore also just perennially,
he's DJ Moore.
He's DJ Moore. What else can you say? Aaron Jones, if he puts in a year, Darren Waller, if he puts in a year, Devin A. Chain, Mike Evans, if he has one more year. And I'm like, there's a lot of, I see more home run than strikeout with his team.
I'm out on Devin A. Chain. I'm out.
That's fine. That's fine.
It's a terrible situation. I don't like it. So now we've got Hoove in the chat. He's saying in all caps, no, my double stack. Go look at my team. Jones to Waller, Burrow to Higgins. Yes, we did miss that one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes. Oh, whoops. It happens.
Easy to forget about.
All in all, this whose team is absolutely phenomenal. All right, Matt. I want to first of all say thank you so much for doing this mock draft with me. We're going to have to do it again when John's back, which John will be back next week. I'm going to be sad to not see you, but maybe we'll see you. Who knows? We have no idea what the future has in store. We've got one more comment in the chat here. Once again, Matt, please don't be mad with me having Ritter behind Baker. I'm changing it as we speak. Look,
thank you, Brad.
Here's the thing, Brad, is I'm with you on that. So now I'm going to be mad at you. And if you can live with that, it's fine. Guys, make sure to follow Matt on Twitter at FFMadJester. And again, Matt, thank you so much for stepping in for John these last 2 weeks. It has been an absolute pleasure. Is there anything you need to plug? We know you're at the Undroppables. We know you're with Fighting Chance Fantasy. Anything cool coming up that you want to plug?
No, and to be honest, I took about the last 5 days off listening to podcasts and just completely, rest and relaxation right after these rookie drafts. That's not to say that I haven't been sending out trades like crazy, but I'm enjoying a breath of fresh air right now. So find me on Twitter, find me at the Undroppables, and it's always a pleasure coming on with you, Nate. I love our little Wednesday evenings.
Yeah, man, it's been a blast. We will do it again soon. Folks,
cool, good.
Make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're listening to the audio version, make sure you are following and downloading these episodes to help you win your Dynasty leagues. Send Steve from the office home crying, guys. That's what we're going for here. We'll see you next week.
I stay loose, I stay hype. I stay loose, I stay hype. I stay loose, I stay